I was kind of scoping out the landscape, see where I would end up or whatever.
Yeah.
But just, and, you know.
Welcome to the battlefield. You're watching Wrestling Reality Hub, your front row seat to WWE mayhem. Subscribe and let's drop kick into the headlines. Jon Moxley, known worldwide as one of the most unpredictable and intense men in professional wrestling, has just shaken the entire industry with a single chilling message directed at Paul Heyman. Following Heyman's shocking betrayal of Roman Reigns, the mastermind behind some of wrestling's most iconic alliances may have finally met his match. What Moxley did, and more importantly, what he said, has left fans and insiders speechless. The Bloodline's collapse and the unthinkable betrayal. For years, the Bloodline stood as the most dominant force in WWE, a dynasty built on loyalty, power, and strategic genius. At the center of it all stood Paul Heyman, the self-proclaimed wise man who orchestrated Roman Reigns' historic run as the tribal chief. But the foundation cracked when Heyman turned his back on Reigns, aligning himself with a new group of rising stars and leaving the entire WWE universe stunned. No one expected Jon Moxley, the man once known as Dean Ambrose, Reigns' brother-in-arms in the Shield, to respond. Yet when he did, he didn't need a press conference, a promo, or a social media post. He needed only 7 words and one unforgettable act to make his point. Moxley's silent return and the message that broke the internet. Late last night during an untelevised AEW event, something unprecedented occurred. As the lights went dark, the arena fell silent. Then a single spotlight illuminated the stage, and there stood Moxley. His face was cold, expression unreadable, the air heavy with tension. He didn't storm in with chaos or violence. Instead, he stood still, blood-stained and calm, and stared directly into the camera. His voice, low and deliberate, carried a weight that silenced the crowd. "Paul, I only got one message for you." Then came the visual that set the internet ablaze. Moxley slowly pulled out a folded piece of paper, the original Shield contract, signed years ago by him, Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns, and set it on fire. The flame crackled as it burned down to ash in his palm. No words followed. The screen went black. Only the sound of fire remained. Within minutes, clips of the segment began circulating online, and by morning it was trending across every wrestling forum, with fans calling it one of the most haunting moments of the year. Why the contract burn matters. That single act was more than symbolism, it was closure. The contract represented the Shield's brotherhood, the unbreakable bond that once defined the trio of Reigns, Rollins, and Moxley. For Moxley to burn it publicly was a message. The past is gone, loyalty is dead, and forgiveness is off the table. This wasn't the first time Moxley had spoken through action rather than words. His entire career has been built on unpredictability and emotion. Yet this time the act felt different, more personal, more deliberate. Insiders close to the situation believe Moxley had been aware of Heyman's backstage dealings for months. Rumors had been swirling for some time that Heyman was negotiating secret alliances with major figures, including CM Punk, possibly undermining Roman Reigns' position as tribal chief. With Reigns now sidelined and the bloodline fractured, Moxley's message was clear. He's not just addressing Heyman, he's addressing the entire system that let it happen. Heyman's shock and WWE's silent panic sources backstage reportedly claimed that Paul Heyman's reaction to Moxley's message was immediate and uncharacteristically shaken. After watching the footage, he was said to have left the venue without speaking to anyone, a rare sign of unease from the man known for controlling every narrative. Behind the scenes, WWE executives are said to be watching closely. The reason? Moxley is a free agent in spirit. While his primary home is AEW, his unpredictable nature and crossover appeal make him a wild card. He could appear anywhere, at any time, and that unpredictability has management nervous. WrestleMania season is approaching, and a single unannounced appearance from Moxley could send shockwaves across the wrestling world. In an era defined by scripted moments and corporate control, the idea of Moxley blurring the lines between fiction and reality is both thrilling and terrifying for the industry. Moxley's motivation: more than revenge. For those who have followed Moxley's career since the Shield's early days, This moment feels like the culmination of a long journey. From his chaotic beginnings in WWE to his evolution in AEW, Moxley has never been driven by fame or titles. He's driven by loyalty, passion, and principle. When he left WWE years ago, it wasn't just about creative differences. It was about authenticity. He wanted to reclaim his voice, his identity, and his purpose as a performer. Now, with Roman Reigns betrayed and the last symbol of the Shield burned away, Moxley's motivation seems deeply personal. This isn't about vengeance for its own sake. It's about setting things right in his own way. By holding accountable the man who manipulated his brothers, corrupted their legacy, and profited from their bond. The fallout and what comes next. As the industry processes what happened, speculation runs rampant. Is this the beginning of a larger story? Could it lead to an unprecedented cross-promotional moment where Moxley appears on WWE television? While that remains uncertain, one thing is clear. Moxley has reignited something wrestling hasn't felt in a long time. Genuine unpredictability. Fans are talking, wrestlers are watching, and the line between companies feels thinner than ever. Meanwhile, Paul Heyman has gone silent. No statements, no interviews, no comments. For a man who built his career on words, his silence speaks volumes. The symbolism of fire and rebirth. Fire in wrestling and storytelling has always represented transformation, destruction followed by renewal. When Moxley lit that contract, he wasn't just burning the past. He was setting the stage for what's to come. The Shield is gone. The bloodline is collapsing. And in the ashes, something new is forming. Something raw, dangerous, and entirely unpredictable. Moxley's act serves as a powerful reminder that wrestling's greatest stories are not about titles or victories, but about emotion, loyalty, and betrayal. It's about the human element, the pain of loss, the courage to confront it, and the power to start again. A new chapter of chaos. If history has taught us anything, it's that Jon Moxley never acts without purpose. Every time he's walked into the darkness, he's emerged more dangerous, more focused, and more compelling. This time, however, it feels different. He isn't just fighting for revenge. He's fighting to reclaim meaning in a world that's forgotten what brotherhood truly means. As fans hold their breath and the industry braces for what comes next, one truth remains unshakable. When Jon Moxley makes his move, it won't be quiet. It will be a storm.